Joseph McPherson here. WRKP 564 is the GMRS. Z as in zebra, A as in alpha class. The GMRS license. And we're here today because of the restoring of the 130 modular alarm unit 875 Ademco. Am I pronouncing that right? The vintage alarm restoration. We went a little bit over budget.
Engine 4, P84.
Was approximately $222
For a 74-year-old male.
for the whole project.
Engine 4.
And I'm not sure how much we went over budget.
74-year-old male.
But here's the inside. We basically had to make some changes. And of course we took the original bell out, or slash buzzer, and we replaced it with a nice little 12-volt Radio Shack buzzer. We allowed to stay with the main relay. So it's the original relay. We got ourselves a St. Jones 6-prong plug with a 90-degree angle. For the light, basically what we did is we put an LED light and we got one small enough where we drilled a little hole and we actually put it in the same original socket. So the original socket of the light survived too. We had to add a potentiometer because all our switching diodes and resistors started to crap out on us. We're talking, what, 55 years? So as we can see that when we're in normal, and we get trouble, and we get an alarm. This is the brain of the Faulkner. Of course, I'm calling it Faulkner because it had its little sticker, Faulkner, so we figured we'd keep it as Faulkner. Not to be confused with Pokemon. I'm sure that was a location. We were actually, from the power of eBay, we were actually able to find a Ademco key reset, which resets it. This is our trip. And let's just take a look inside the box here. A box of relays. Of course, we get the green monster coming out. There's our box of relays that we got carried away with. And of course, I always like using the same color wire because it makes it more interesting. Besides, we didn't have different colored wires. And that's just an extra little LED that we decided just to hook up with that. So we got a lot going here. This is our reset. Resets the whole thing. We have a latching relay where once it gets tripped, we have a pull away relay on our first phase that puts the meter in trouble. And then we got our polarity change, which changes the polarity in the meter, which makes it go into alarm. So we're going to cover this up.
Engine 400.
Our green monster's coming out. So,
Teenagers called in, that's going to be
now, back in the day,
residential drive.
when this tripped, the buzzer would go off, and you would and the operator would have to look at the meter to see which one tripped, if there was a bunch of them. And usually you did have a whole bunch of these together in the alarm room. So, 55 years later, this is a 2-colored LED, green and red. So we hooked it up so when it trips, the buzzer goes off, the normal goes over to alarm, and the green light lights as the buzzer's going off. This here will mute out the buzzer, puts the meter into trouble, and the light turns red. So let's see if we can get a little back. So I'm going to trip it as we're going to be looking. So here we go. So that's our trip. We're in alarm. We got the green light on. It's buzzing. Come over. We mute. Now that's tagged out and it stays red. We're in trouble. The alarm is tripped. So we go over here. We can tell here that our relay is tripped because this is our trip zone. And here's our reset. So I'm going to turn the key and we'll reset the box here. That's our reset. And I don't want to keep this up for the whole 7 minutes. Basically, we'll trip it over here. That's our trip zone. Alarm. Pretty much back in the day, that's how this thing behaved. Of course, we're not over telephone lines. We're just having fun with relays. Ademco. They were way ahead of their time because they were one of the first alarms where if you cut a wire, you actually trip the alarm. And what else was unique about it was one of these sat on the bank manager's end table at his house. Then you'd have a lot of them down at the police station or a telegraph station. The restoring of the Ademco Modular 130. It's also been in a few movies. And the one movie that really stands out is Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Jeff Bridges dresses up like a woman. And he gets his way into the telegraph office. Of course, he knocks the guy out. And his job is to basically turn the alarm off when Clint Eastwood breaks in. So this has been into a few movies. A couple of close-ups. All right, I guess we kept it under 10 minutes. And thanks for watching. The Faulkner.